So I guess we just start the episode because we didn't come up with a way to introduce these recap episodes that could be used for future books because Eragon doesn't wake.
Not as much as this one.
Like, we had a couple chapters that were Eragon waking up, but again, not nearly
as much.
And then we had a thing happen, which will mean Eragon never wakes for a start of the chapter. He doesn't sleep anymore.
Yep.
So, I guess we just cue the music.
We just cue the music.
Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle chapter by chapter. I'm Darien Smartt.
And I'm Lucy Hart.
And we've finished Eldest.
Oh
my goodness.
Yep.
Like, I knew we would. It just feels wild.
It's like, oh, we actually did the thing. Holy cow.
We've done 2 whole books. Well, it feels wild because we have been doing this for over a year.
Yeah.
It's been 16 months.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Hold on. 3 plus 7. No, 3, 4, 7, 12 plus 4, 16. Yeah. So we've been on Eldest for 16 months because the first Eldest episode came out in early March of 2025.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why it feels bizarre.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we've been doing forever. And then we also thought we'd be doing it for quite a bit longer.
More, yeah. We
just
thought
looking
we'd be doing
at
it
the number
till fall,
of chapters. Yeah. And then realizing, hey, a lot of these chapters are kind of short or need to be paired.
Yeah.
So we've done it. We've done 2 Hey, Lucy.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the inheritance cycle.
Through the inheritance cycle. And that much closer to Murtagh.
And that much closer to Murtagh. Because Murtagh is not a part of the inheritance cycle. It's a part of the Allegasia narrative series.
Yes.
But it's only the 4 books that are the inheritance cycle, right?
Yep.
Okay. Because there's also that collection of short stories, like the worm, the witch,
the witch, the worm, and the fork, or the fork, the worm, and the witch, or something like that.
Yeah. Which I've never read.
Yep, I've also never read.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think we do that one after inheritance.
Yes.
Right? Because that's the order.
And I think I don't want to listen to that because I think it'd be fun because I read Murtagh and you haven't. I think it'd be cool to have like a book from the Allegasia series or whatever world that neither of us have read.
Yes.
So I think that would be really good.
The novelty of it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be a thing. And then I believe Christopher Paolini is writing not another Murtagh book, which he is doing.
Yeah, he's writing another shorts.
Yeah, he's writing another collection of shorts that I think he said are specifically like from Eragon's POV.
Yeah.
Like if I understood that Instagram caption correctly.
Yep.
So we're getting that. We are getting the battles one.
Oh,
that collection. That I can't remember what it's called now, even though I did support it on the Kickstarter to get you a copy for a present, and then I realized at the end, hey, hold on, I also want one.
I want one too.
So we're gonna cover that
Yep.
and then eventually, because the series hasn't been canceled yet, there is a Disney Plus series for us to talk about.
Yep.
We might be doing this for a while.
I'm down for it.
I'm having a great time.
Super down, yeah.
It's so if anybody's like, oh no, they're already halfway through. No.
We got content.
No, it's not. The
and
podcast
also,
isn't half over.
And I think also like Murtagh's supposed to be more books in that.
Yeah,
I think
we're getting
too,
at least
so.
another Murtagh book. Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the one thing that we're definitely not going to cover in depth on this podcast, and it is that goddamn movie.
Yeah, we're not. We already did it once. We're not doing it again.
Yes,
you can't make us.
If you feel so inclined, you're like, hey, I desperately want to hear y'all talk about them, because I would.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, I would desperately want to, if I was listening to this podcast, I would want to hear the host talk about the Eragon movie.
Yeah.
Like, obviously. You can check out the Fandom and Folklore podcast, where the host of that show, Braden, invited us to discuss the Eragon movie.
Yep.
And so we watched it for the first time in decades.
Years, yeah.
And then we talked about it for longer than the length of the movie.
Yeah, it was awful. Sorry.
Guys, it's bad. And it's not
so
just
bad.
And it's not just bad because it's a poor adaptation of the source material, right? It's also just bad for what it's trying to be, like a fantasy flick.
Yes.
It's just
bad.
It's just not good.
Yep.
And But to the point where I never want to watch that movie again. I had such an unpleasant experience.
It literally is like, so bad.
So we're just not going to do that for a show. Brayden can have that.
Yeah.
You can please go listen to Fandom and Folklore. That episode is coming out today. If I remember correctly, Brayden said it comes out on the 15th.
Yeah.
This episode is dropping on the 15th.
Yeah.
You could go listen to that today.
Yeah.
So, and you should go listen to the other episodes from Brayden because it's super fun. Their Twilight episode was super great.
Ooh,
so
yes.
highly recommend. This is an excellent show. If you like what we do here, I think you'll also really vibe with Fandom and Folklore. But if you also really have your heart set on hearing us like in-depth talk about the Eragon movie, that is the only place where we're ever going to do that. Please don't invite us to your project to talk about the Eragon movie. I don't want to do that again.
No.
Please don't.
Literally
I can't do it again.
Yep.
Now we will Lucy and I have discussed this, and we do have to do something within our canon.
Yep.
To do with the movie. And so if the TV show actually happens,
yes,
we will celebrate that by doing a special bonus episode on our Patreon, which will be a drunken commentary track.
Yes.
For the Eragon. Okay? We're not going to watch it and then discuss it again. That's just not. I don't think, again, we're just, all the thoughts we could ever have were over there.
We're
on
literally over there,
so, like, that would not be interesting to just redo that for here. So go there. But I do think a intoxicated commentary track for if you feel so inclined that you want to watch the movie, what would it be like with us? That would be your experience.
Literally.
But that is only going to happen if Disney actually makes the series.
Yeah.
It hasn't been canceled yet. It's still in production. We got some recent news about crew casts or crew hires and stuff. So that's really exciting. But we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yep.
And I do feel like it really depends. That Percy Jackson show needs to keep doing as well as it's doing. Yeah. Right? Because that's the only way I think Disney's really going to fully invest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they are investing a lot of money to do an activation at Comic-Con for Titan's Curse.
Yeah.
But they still haven't officially greenlit the last two books getting adapted. Mm-hmm. So we will see.
Yep.
But that is the only way.
Yeah,
I agree with that. If the series doesn't happen, then we are not talking about that fucking movie on this podcast.
Not again.
I never want to watch it again. Yeah. Nothing but respect to our buddy Diego, who has a soft spot for the movie. If you like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you shouldn't like it. I'm just saying we had a bad time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But you know where we had a great time?
Yeah.
Is reading Eldest.
Such a good time.
Okay, so I feel like better than Eragon?
I think better than Eragon.
Better than Eragon. Yeah. I feel like I don't know if it's a hot take or not. I've never been super in-depth in the Eragon fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the books were coming out, I was kind of young and didn't get involved in it. And it's been a real dormant fandom for a long time. And now even running the podcast, I think I've only really interacted with the folks who interact with us.
Yeah.
And don't know the wider fandom vibes. I don't even know the fandom opinions on the books or the characters or stuff. Like, I have no idea if the stuff we say on this show is like completely in line with like greater fandom opinion, or if we are considered like completely unhinged.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm fine with either, really.
Yeah, right. Like
totally fine.
I'm not worried about it.
Oh
but I think I do feel like Eldest is a stronger book.
Yes.
I think you can see a great deal of like technical skill.
Yeah.
Like improvement in there.
Like just adding, like a lot of folks who've reached out to us have said this is their favorite book in the series too. Mm-hmm, so it's I think strong book is super on point. It's just a real, and just following the first one is yes, absolutely. This is a great sequel of a 4-book series. It's amazing. It's just a really good book.
Yeah. I also think we made this joke at the top, but like just the fact that there's fewer chapters that open with Eragon waking up is already an instant like, oh, you have improved as a writer.
You've improved as a writer, exactly.
You recognize that that's not a thing you need to be doing as often as you were.
Yep.
So that's huge.
And I think that's like, for me it's so cool because it's it is showing Paolini's like growth as a writer.
Mhm.
Like I don't know how he was like 15, 16 when the first one came out. I can't
Mhm.
remember how old he was when this one came out, but it's like even within a few years, let's say, he's grown so much. It's just really really cool to see that growth as a writer.
I mean, speaking of Paolini, do you want to talk about this acknowledgments letter at the back of the
go
book?
ahead. Yeah.
So, books have acknowledgments. This is not unique to Christopher Paolini's work, but there is some highlights on in this acknowledgement that I think are interesting for our project here.
Yes.
It opens with Kavetha Frakaya, which I'm so sorry, and maybe by the end of the series I will be stronger at saying the ancient language or not. We'll just see what happens. As with many authors who undertake an epic the length of the inheritance cycle, I have found that the creation of Eragon, and now Eldest, has become my own personal quest, one that has proven every bit as transforming as Eragon's.
Mm-hmm.
When I first conceived Eragon, I was 15. Not quite a boy and not yet a man. Just out of high school. Important, I think it's another thing. Like, Christopher Paolini graduated high school when he was like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Like, he finished it really early. Which that makes sense. Yeah, that's the kind of kid that would write this book.
Yes, absolutely. Intelligent. Damn intelligent. Sorry, please continue.
Unsure of what path to take in life and addicted to the potent magic of fantasy literature that adorned my shelves. The process of writing Eragon, marketing it across the world, and now finally completing Eldest has swept me into adulthood. I'm 21 now.
Yep.
To my continual astonishment, that feeling never goes away.
Yeah, no.
When you're just like, how old am I?
You're like, how old am I? Holy cow.
I'm sorry, I'm 32?
I'm pretty sure, like, when you turn 21, you're like, whoa, I can drink now?
Yeah, like, I'm a for real adult. And then you turn 30 and you're like, no.
Whoa,
now I'm a for real adult. And I just feel like that feeling probably never stops.
Yeah, like, you hit 40 and you're like, oh gosh. Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so actually, I realize the continual astonishment is not that he's 21. I misread the way the punctuation
you're good,
was.
But it's still fair.
To my continual astonishment, have already published 2 novels.
Yep.
Stranger things have occurred, I'm sure, but never to me. Which that's also like...
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for a 21-year-old.
Like, and also having published 2 novels, even with like potential connections that he may have had, they are solid works.
Yeah.
There are far, far worse novels that got published thanks to connections.
Yes.
Than Eragon or Eldest.
Right. And it's also like just thinking about like writing a book is like first step 1 is sitting down and actually writing a book. Then there is editing. Then there is rewrites. Then there is more editing. And then there is more rewrites. Like the amount of effort it takes to write and finish a book to publish it is remarkable in and of itself.
Yeah. But I think on that topic, I think it's also important to acknowledge just the fact that not everybody who does have the talent, the skill level, the capacity to create a strong work has the privilege of doing
That's true.
So. Like the time like you said, like the time and investment it takes. If an individual who needs to work to survive likely is not going to be able to dedicate that, even if it's like I stay up late, they do that. Not to say that there aren't those out. We love the struggling artist vibe. Like they had to work 60 hours. They survived after 3 hours of sleep so they could work on their novel every night, and that's incredible. But that in and of itself does not equate in the ability to publish. The fact that someone who had to really, really fight to get this work out of their heart and into the world, and it could be super good, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be able to find a publisher and make it happen, because it is so hard. And so like it is remarkable to have published 2 massive and very high quality books at 21, but also to acknowledge that there are privileges that possibly allowed this outcome to come for Paolini. So if you're 32 and you haven't done that yet, man, don't feel bad. If you're listening and you're 15 and you're like, I could never do that, it's like there's a lot of factors that indicate, like, everyone who was a young prodigy probably had some advantages. Right? So, because there are countless prodigies throughout history who never got known because they didn't have the same advantages. That doesn't lessen the fact that these are quality books and that Christopher Paolini is a skilled writer. But comparing ourselves to others is not useful.
Yep.
But being proud of our own accomplishments is always allowed.
Yes,
For example,
absolutely.
having published 2 books at 21.
Yep.
Eragon's journey has been my own, plucked from a sheltered rural upbringing and forced to rove the land in a desperate race against time, enduring intense and arduous training, achieving success against all expectations, dealing with the consequences of fame, and eventually finding a measure of peace. Just as in fiction, when the determined and well-meaning protagonist, who isn't really all that bright now, is he, is helped along the way by a host of wiser characters, so too have I been guided by a number of stupendously talented people. They are at home. Mom, for listening when I need to talk about a problem with the story or characters, or for giving me the courage to throw out 12 pages and rewrite Eragon's entrance into Elismira. Painful. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's when they say, like, you know, kill your darlings. That's what
I was going to say, literally killing your darlings.
You have to be willing to be like, this isn't working. It has to go.
It has to go. Yep.
Dad, as always, for his incisive editing. And my dear sister Angela, for deigning to reprise her role as a witch and for her contributions to her doppelganger's dialogue.
I love that so much. If I had a sibling who made a character off of me, I would pull the most buck wild shit and just be like, put that in the book. Make her say that.
Absolutely. The next page is it's more thank yous, much more specific, like people who are at Writer's House.
Yep.
At Knopf, at Listening Library. I'm not going to read all that. I did want to read that first one because I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I want to read this last section.
Yes.
One more volume to go, and we shall reach the end of this tale. One more manuscript of heartache, ecstasy, and perseverance. One more codex of dreams. Stay with me, if it please you, and let us see where this winding path will carry us, both in this world and in Allegasia. And then there's a Se Honor Sevidar Sitya Vas. Christopher Paolini, August 23rd, 2005. Now, so that
didn't maybe go quite as planned.
So, then if you want to just flip in the what I have here, which is like a special deleted scene from Eldest, awesome. Yep. A special preview of Bersinger, which indicates like this paperback edition I have was clearly published quite a bit later when there was a fun exclusive to a special preview to see. Yep. And then the very last paper page of my book says it began with an Eragon. It began with Eragon. It ends with Inheritance. Because it was coming November 8th, the epic conclusion to Christopher Paolini's #1 best-selling series. Because it's not a trilogy.
Yep.
And Lucy's, who has a hardback version.
Yeah, I have a hardback version.
So probably like a first edition.
Yep, I have about the author at the very. It's actually the last page. I'm not counting this one. It's the last page of the whole book, and it's about the author. It just, Christopher Paolini's abiding love for fantasy and science fiction inspired him to begin with writing his novel Eragon, da-da-da-da-da. And then one of the last couple sentences is, he is at work on the final volume in the Inheritance trilogy. You can find out more about Christopher Eldest and Inheritance at, and then it gives the www.allegasia.com. So, yeah. Not a trilogy.
Not a trilogy. And so definitely a thing we will have to see if we can find out about.
Yeah.
Like, at what point did it go from trilogy to the cycle?
Yep.
Right? This one also has, do you have this? It's a deleted scene from Eldest.
No, I don't. I don't have a, well, let me double check. I have...
It's like 2 pages, but like a front and back of
I have
one
end of
page.
book 2. The story will continue in book 3 of Inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
I have pronunciation guide. I have that acknowledgements, and I have about the author, and that is it.
Interesting. Okay, so if it please you, dear listeners, I'd love to share this because clearly it's not in every edition of the book.
Yep.
The episode from Eragon and Saphira's visit to the dwarf city of Tardeg offers a unique glimpse at dwarf theater.
Ooh!
Saphira looked at him with solemn eyes and said, "They are afraid, Eragon, afraid and resentful because once more they have been forced to accept a writer's assistance. Aye, they may fight with us, but they don't fight for us." Good. Yrden wiped his hands, stood, and clapped loudly. Erstaf as Grimskardarvarin, Dwarven, I'm sorry. As he reseated himself, 26 costumed dwarves marched out of the hall and into the courtyard and positioned themselves before the tables where all could see. "Explain," grunted Yrden. Undine. That's definitely not it either.
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm like, that sounds a little pretty accurate.
Yeah,
overall.
Undine, waving his hand at Auric. Eragon looked at Auric. Eragon looked down at Auric, who said, "These are the clan bards. It is their job to remember all the songs, sagas, poems, and other lore that describe the clan's history. They also," added Arya, "perform plays." At Undane's word, a roll of drums echoed from the side, and a dwarf announced, in Dwarven again, "I'm sorry." Auric translated, "The saga of King Balgam of Kivasgur being a mountain south of Dalgon." Then a wizened bard stepped forth, clutching a staff. He cried in Dwarvish, which Auric then translated. "What be such as we?" whispered Auric, so Eragon could understand. "We of immortal stone, who bestride sorrow and ecstasy every moment. We are flecking specks, motes of time's memory, which forgets even as it creates. Mine country of Chrisiverger is one such mote, assailed by feckless enemies who..." As Eragon listened, he found himself captured by the stories of Balmug, saddened and wise with experience, and his mad, wild queen, Dragica, who, throughout the play, relentlessly pursued vengeance for the death of her youngest son, Haval. This is the first time I'm reading this, guys. I didn't know this was here. So if you're hearing my reaction to what's going on, this is me being like, oh no, she's the mad queen. Why? Oh, because her son died? Okay, you know that's... Oh, but the lady's crazy because her baby, like her kid got killed? That's always kind of a bummer. But anyway.
Yep.
Youngest son, Haval, after he fell off a Feldunst while in the care of Balmung's school. So he wasn't even murdered. It was an accident.
Yeah.
This is how Scarlett O'Hara's kid dies. Like, we can't have this. This is nonsense. Eragon did not understand all the references, such as when it was gibbed that Balmug's nose was as long as his beard, and the dwarves roared with uncontrollable laughter. But the underlying themes were moving and tragic. It ended with Balmug standing alone before them, sons murdered or exiles, his kingdom lost in war, and Dragica dead by her own hand. Damn, Lady Macbeth!
Yeah.
The wrinkled old player leaned on his staff, staring with eyes black, glazed, desolate. He said, "No more shall the suns shake in its infirmity, nor grey lichen moulder across the granite, for mine sorrow steals the breath betwixt mine teeth. Hearth and hall I have lost, flesh of my flesh, and all the glittering aches of this life, leaving what? Oh, mere existence falters underneath the load without mitigation of heart's affection." I can see why that got cut.
I can see also why that got cut.
It's,
but I do like the fact that Paulini seems to like that scene so much. He's like, I gotta put it in somehow.
Someone needs to see this. I can see why probably for pacing it got cut.
Yeah.
It's a weird, the vibe, because this comes like when they're with the dwarves and there's the other dwarves that are like pissed off, right?
Yep.
And that's what it immediately follows. So it is kind of a bizarre side tangent, but Christopher Paolini loves to create culture in his world.
He does.
He loves to flesh
good.
out like the world building, not just of like weird, obscure history and stuff, but also there are plays.
Yep.
Here's one. You get to see it.
Yep. It's very good.
And that's great. So
I do feel sorry for Auric and that whole time having to whisper the whole play
it's
to Eragon the whole time. Dude's gotta be, his voice gotta be so like, oh, his throat's gotta be killing him by the end of that.
For sure. And also it's crazy at the end it says like the dwarf said, and it like says in English, but he hasn't, it's clearly definitely not being spoken in like whatever the language Eragon understands. Right? But yeah, that's what I just wanted to share that with you, dear listeners, because it was very silly. So, Lucy, did you have any thoughts regarding Eldest?
I've probably mentioned this. Just like when I first read the book series, I read the first one greedily, and then it was so difficult for me, like as a kid, to read the second one. And I think, like as an adult, I can admire Christopher Paolini's like the way his writing changed from the first one to the second one, but I think Little Lucy, it was a little above my reading. Like it was a little, the second book was above my reading. What is that? Average? Reading level. Thank you. And so I think this was the first book I ever got on CD.
Yeah, there's you clocked which chapter it was that you needed to start on audiobook.
Yep, because it was I tried so hard to read it. I think I tried reading it twice. I think I started it twice and I couldn't do it. And I think I was already listening to books on cassette tape at that point. So I was like, okay, that's it. I need an audiobook.
Yeah.
I need an audio version. So it was the first book I got on CDs. And so then I would walk around with my CD player everywhere I went listening to these books. And that was when I got through it. And I was so happy that I was able to get through because it's such a good book.
It's a great book.
like the ending of it, I remember just being shook at how it ended and just being like, oh my goodness. And then the like, oh my gosh, where's the next one? And the next one doesn't come out for
3 years.
And so, so I always remember Eldest fondly of being like, I think it might have solidified my love of audiobooks. Because I'm like, okay, well, if I can't read it, if my brain just can't do it, at least there's audiobooks and I can get it through it that way and enjoy it that way. And so, so it's always stuck out to my brain in that kind of way.
That's very good. Yeah, I do think, like, I think we made the bit of, like, oh, yeah, Eragon, it's, like, baby's first high fantasy.
Yeah.
But I don't think Eldest is that. I think Eldest just is high fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, it's more complicated. Like you said, both in, like, I think the reading level, the fact that we're doing different POVs, and the different POVs are dealing with very different themes and ideas in each of those sections.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on, and it's very well crafted.
It really is. Yep.
Yeah, I really do like Eldest. I think this is the one that I read well, that's not true. I definitely wouldn't have just reread Eldest because my brain wouldn't let me do that. I would have to reread both of them.
Yeah.
But so I read Eragon and Eldest a lot.
Yeah.
In the years leading up to Brisingr finally coming out.
Yep.
Which even finally, like 3 years is not that
it's
long.
Not too long,
honestly.
Yeah. But when you're a kid. It's ages.
Yeah,
it's forever.
I don't even know when is it coming out. There's no just end of book 2. The story will continue in book 3 of Inheritance, and like you're just like, when does that happen? When is the next thing?
Like, come on, man. I think I remember like even like listening to the audiobook and being like, okay, when's the next? Like, where's the next one? Where is the next one? And then not being able to find it until like way later and being like, oh. Yay that I found it finally eventually, but also bummer at the time where I was like, where's the next book?
Yeah. I think the also thing is like it was like the early 2000s. And I think it was a really different time for like getting that kind of information.
Yeah.
Like now, I think publishers do want, especially big popular books, want to get them out on a super tight, like a tighter timeline, or at the very least there is like a general awareness of when that next book is going to come out, right?
Yep.
Because that information is more readily available. I don't know if we could have found out when the next Inheritance book was supposed to come out.
Agreed. Especially if, like, in that time, he was like, there needs to be another book.
Yeah, exactly. I would imagine that probably also pushed out the publication date. If we were gonna have one book and now it's gonna end up being 2, I imagine there were major plot points that would have had to been like reworked because they were gonna come up later.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but but now we can find way more details. Yeah, and we will definitely look into that.
Like do some research for sure. Yeah.
Probably something we'll cover in our Brisingr recap.
I was gonna say definitely, probably that.
But that's at least
maybe another 16 months
off.
Another 16 months.
But shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, let's hear what our listeners have to say about all of this.
Yep, we got some great responses.
Got some excellent emails. All right, gotta start off with this one. From one Owen.
Yes.
Hello, Lucy.
Oh, no.
Yes. This email is directed at Lucy and Lucy alone.
Yeah.
Why, I hear you ask? Well, you see, Darien let me down during your dragon bracket and let the Welsh dragon go out in the first round.
Yeah, sorry.
Owen, my friend, I literally stayed at their house. Top 10 anime betrayals. What the fuck? Shocked when I opened this email. Blindsided even. Never gonna recover. But Toothless did win the whole thing, so can't be too mad. Okay, well, in all seriousness, the podcast is going great, and you are both smashing it. Aww. I'm sending this before the last couple episodes, and I'm excited to hear you talk about the Eldest dragon reveal. Still haven't met the red dragon on the cover.
Yep, nope.
From that weird British guy that Darien knows, Owen. And he ended it with the Welsh flag emoji.
Yep.
As he should.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Owen. I tried my hardest. Lucy,
she did.
I tried so hard.
Yeah, she did. She did really good.
There are just a lot of older millennials who really like Dragonheart.
Yeah.
I could only do so much.
Yep.
Thank you, Owen.
Yes, thank you, Owen. I remember opening that email and being like, this is for Lucy specifically, and being like, oh no.
No. I was like, I can't believe he's done. Here's the thing, it's like, I knew you'd already seen it because it had been opened. It was marked as red.
I was gonna respond to it, but then I kept forgetting.
It's okay. It was for the mailbag episode. So we're going to read it here and respond now.
Absolutely.
Owen. Got an email from Kayla, specifically Eldest Thoughts, parentheses, Greek v. Tolkien Hero Breakdown.
Ooh.
Eldest, oh Eldest, life-changing book that it was. To this day, my favorite book in the OG series. Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I've read these books so much, it's hard to remember my first time, but I remember being so enraptured with Roran and his story. The romancing of Katrina, the will and charisma to take his whole village to safety. The vivid mental pictures I remember having reading his chapters are stuck in my head to this day.
Mm-hmm.
From the description of Katrina in the moonlight to his first time seeing Eragon and Saphira, he remains one of my favorite characters in media to this day. Absolutely. I definitely feel like I didn't appreciate Roran nearly as much when I read it for the first time
Agreed.
as a kid, right?
Yep.
it's like, he doesn't have any magic. And I'm like, I don't know, dog.
Nah, he's great.
Roran's, sometimes, honestly, Roran's sections, I'm like having way more fun than when in Eragon. Eragon's just like in the safety of Ella's mirror, and that's all well and good. We're doing fun elf magic stuff, but I'm out here being like, I gotta get back to Roran. We're on a folk hero quest.
Yeah, absolutely. Specifically in this re-listening, the thing that keeps going through my head is like, he's got the king's blood running through him.
This is some like real ancient epic hero
it's so
nonsense.
Good.
I want to expand a bit on my idea of Roran being a Greek hero archetype versus Eragon as a Tolkenian hero archetype, since this book is the one that really sets them up as such. Roran is just a man. Just a man. To be clear, Kayla wrote that. I'm not just being a goofy goober. I'm feeling their energy. We're vibing. I'm meeting them where
absolutely.
With a goal and a quest to get one thing done for himself, not some greater good. His story follows similarly to some popular Greek heroes. Stories like Odysseus and Menelaus come to mind. A mission to have the one he loves and bring her home at any cost. His story reminds me of Menelaus gathering the leaders of the ancient Greek world to go rescue Helen, and Odysseus doing whatever he must to get Penelope back. A journey of Kleos, glory, and great feats. He even takes a Nostos. His goal is his own, not one for the world around him. Alternatively, you have Eragon, a traditional fantasy/Tolkien hero set upon a quest with a magical property or gift to somehow change the fate of the world. He faces a great evil and he must conquer it for the greater good. Yes, for his own personal reasons as well, but more broadly arcing goal than that of Roran's. I think that the dichotomy is what makes Eldest such a fantastic, interesting read. You're essentially swapping between two different hero tales. One of magic and swordplay and elves, the ideal fantasy story, and one of grit and determination and humanity, a traditional folk tale. The contrast between them is exceptionally well, and in my opinion, and yet they also flow together very well as characters come together. It makes for such a fun reading, swapping between these different types of heroes throughout the book, and I genuinely think that's why it's my favorite. Thank you for your time. Sorry for my ramble. Kayla, never be sorry.
Yep.
Hope it was very least entertaining. I look forward to your coverage, Bersinger. I missed the book I struggle getting through the most, so I can't wait to hear for your discussions and thoughts. May the wind rise under your wings, friends. Until next time, Kayla or Kiki.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes,
no,
thank
that's
you.
such a good point.
Yeah, it's a literally good point.
Like, that is like, I said it earlier. It's like, yeah, Roran's on a folk hero's journey and Eragon's doing magic stuff, but I hadn't thought of it in that, the Greek.
It fits.
That fits really well. Yeah. I dig it.
Yep, absolutely.
I think you are exactly on point, Kayla.
Yep,
absolutely.
For sure.
That's such a great way to like describe what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, yeah, Paolini does that so well. They
he
are
does it really
so
well.
very different.
Yep, absolutely.
So I've got a couple emails from Lord Venom, who reached out a while ago, and I've been saving responding to the questions for this wrap-up episode because I thought it'd be pretty appropriate.
Absolutely.
So this was from a back and forth thread. One last question. I have been writing this book for around a year and a half, and it's by far the longest I've ever spent on a single novel. I'm starting to see, though, that the book isn't really what I want to be doing anymore, and I'm considering moving on to try another story. The problem is I'm worried that'd be a bad idea to just set aside all the progress I made instead of turning it into an actual book. I never made it past the first 2 to 5 chapters in my other books, while for this one, I'm pushing 18 of them. I'm just not sure if abandoning it's a good idea. What would you recommend?
What would you recommend?
No.
You want me to do?
Well, mostly I was like giving you the opportunity to talk some, Lucy.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just like,
no. I have read this before, so I've had more time to think on it.
I've had like there's two situations where I wrote this book or concept of this book when I was young, like middle school, high school, something like that. And I loved the idea so much. And I rewrote it so many times, and I think that was like I got it. I don't think I ever got. I think I with kind of what he was saying. I'd make maybe 5 chapters, and I was rewriting it, and then I finally had to just stop because I was like, I can't write this. So like, I think I understand the like all of that progress and just letting it go. So I think I totally understand that. I also think I had the current book that I am like in a similar vein. The current book I'm reading, I wrote like the end chapter first.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a dream or it was just an idea I had. I don't think it was a dream. I think it was an idea I had. And I wrote the last chapter first. And because I liked the scene in my head so much that I had to write it. And then I was like, you know what? I could do something with this. And then I went back and I wrote it. And then I didn't like the way it started. Again, I really wanted it to kind of go where I wanted it to go, but I ended up having to, I scrapped the beginning like 3 or 4 times before I finally found something that I liked to go with whatever is going on. So I don't think you have to scrap all of it. I think maybe try to view it at a different angle. Like, is there another way you can approach it? Keeping the story, if you want to write this story, keeping the story like essentials, like keeping those, but maybe writing it from like a different situation or different beginning, or like maybe like I actually heard this once is like maybe cut the first 3 chapters of your book and then start there. Like what does that do? What does that look like? If you're going to cut like the first 3 chapters or so, what does the beginning of your books look like from that perspective rather than where you had it originally? So maybe just coming at it from a different angle, just kind of challenging yourself and really thinking about how you can write this same story in a different way, if that makes sense. I might have just said the same thing over and over again.
No.
Yeah.
And my alternative is, why do you have to abandon it?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to set a thing aside. It's okay to step away from a project and work on another thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have been struggling on my main draft for a while, and when I mentioned it to my friend Emily, we were chatting and they asked me how I've been doing, and I was like, I've just been like really stuck on a spot. I really don't feel, and they asked, well, why don't you work on a different project for a while? That can help. And I was like, I don't have anything else. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. So it doesn't have to be abandoning a work to leave it to the side and work on something else for a while, right? Like, it's not like you're going to delete that draft from your hard drive forever or burn the manuscript, right? Like, if you've hit a point where you're just like not feeling it, not inspired or something else, and there's something else that's catching your attention, like, it can be useful to work on another thing for a while and know that that project is still waiting for you if you want to go back to it. Yeah. Like you said, Lucy, there is a time where you realize, dang, this is just flat out not the story I want to tell. And there's the moment where you're just like, I can't be working on this right now. Yep. And so there is, I'm sure other folks who've actually published books might say to you, no, you got to keep working on it. Don't give up. Like, and we can't claim to have done that. So we don't know the magic trick that'll work every time, because I would frankly say there isn't one. But I think there's also the sunk cost fallacy. Don't stick to something just because you spent more time in it. That's not productive. But if you're not feeling inclined to continue pouring energy into this, it's okay to work on something else, knowing that other thing is still there. You don't have to abandon it. You can just hit pause for a while.
That's like, for me, it's like I actually do have like a couple of projects I have. So if I can't work on one, I'm like, and I want to write someday, I can jump over here and write like a page in this story, or like just thinking of a short story. So yeah, no, I agree with that. Just taking a little break isn't throwing away everything that you've done. Taking a step back can be a good thing. And then you can approach it with a fresh mind.
Yeah, exactly that too. I like that wording as well. I like that mindset as well. Yeah. And then Lord Venom reached out another email more recently. Again, was saving it to chat about for the big wrap-up episode.
Yeah.
Hi, I hope I'm not bothering you. Y'all are never bothering us. We have open email.
Yeah.
And our message is always open, and we literally beg for y'all to, to chat with us. You're never bothering us, I promise. So thank you for reaching out. But I have a question about the inheritance cycle, and I find it very confusing. And since I don't think Chris is going to answer my email, I'd like to hear your opinion if possible. I'm realizing this is spoilers. So this is going to be mild spoilers for the end of the series. So if you don't want to hear this, there will be in the show notes, I'll have the timestamp to skip to this. It's very, very mild. It's not specific. It's not, but it is a spoiler for how the series ends, but I also would like to discuss this.
Yeah.
At the beginning of book 1, Eragon has a dream of the last chapter of book 4 where he was sailing off to new lands. But according to multiple sources, it's impossible to see the future, or at least it requires more energy than realistic possible for any group. So how did he have the dream? Just curious to hear what you think. I hope you're having a great day, Dragon Mage. Yeah, man,
I have thoughts on this.
Lucy, please start.
Yes, I have so many thoughts on this because we have seen Eragon is capable of having visions throughout the whole series. He sees Arya, he dreams Arya several times, and then he's able to scry her. So it's like he has these like weird visions. And he also has like that. And I think like he also has the vision of his dream at the end of this book where he sees the hand come into the vision.
Yeah.
I just think, even though no one can describe it, I think there is something in Eragon magically that allows Eragon to have brief glimpses of the future. I feel like that might be
called protagonist power.
Yeah, and it's like that. But I was literally gonna say I feel like it's some bullshit main character magic bonus power kind of thing. But I do think
but
like
it's never used to actually impact the plot.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
used
foreshadowing.
As like foreshadowing, like narrative flavor.
Yeah, exactly. And I do because I just think Eragon has the ability, like where Angela can
I was gonna say Angela.
Yeah, because Angela she can tell prophecies more or less. I just think Eragon, there is the ability to. There is that it is introduced in the world that this can happen basically through Angela, where it's like she can
the dragon bones.
Yeah, the dragon bones and things like that.
She has the ability to read
Yes.
what the bones indicate.
Yeah,
and by the end of book 2, we see that that's fucking legit.
Yeah,
you will be betrayed by a member of your family.
Yep,
that's very specific.
Yes, absolutely. And so I think that it is canonically happens in this world, but I don't think it's like so. I do think Eragon can be some kind of like he can see the future and his future specifically. I think he can see glimpses of future that involves himself. And so, and I think that I feel like with the magic and how it works, I feel like that makes a lot of fucking sense that he can see his magic is tied to him. And so he can see that like Saphira's tied to him. And so it surrounds him kind of thing. So for me, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just like, I've said this many times now, but I just think like, he can just see the future. He can have these weird in his dream when he's sleeping, because I think most of it happens when he's sleeping.
Always a dream.
He can like glimpse parts of the future in his sleep. Something to do with like because I don't think he's had these dreams until he has the bond with Saphira.
Yes.
And so I think that magic in him allows him to tap into something of the magic in this world that allows him to have glimpses of his future magically. That's
for sure. I think also it is the world of Allegasia has a very hard magic system.
Yes.
Right? We know exactly what the rules are. We know the cost. We know what it takes. Like Christopher Paolini has constructed a very clear, very hard magic system where it is basically like a sense of science.
Yes.
And we also have like science, right?
Yes.
That's what the elves bring to the table.
I love it so much.
Yes. And so even in this world of fantastical swordplay and elves and magic and adventure and dragons and all these things, like the world in and of itself is very strong and very clearly defined.
Yep.
And then we have Eragon.
Yep.
We have Eragon, this young man who lives in this rural village almost forgotten by the Empire itself. And he is the one who will change the world.
Yep.
Right? Like there are lots of characters who will influence the outcome of Allegasia.
Mm-hmm.
But they all will do so because of Eragon.
Yeah.
Right? Eragon having Saphira, getting the egg, keeping Saphira, leaving, leads the Razak to take Katrina, leaving Roran to take this journey with the village to Serta. Niswada becoming the leader of the Varden. Like, her, what the hell is her dad?
Ajahad.
God, yes, thank you. Ajahad was probably going to get killed by the Urgals pretty soon. The twins were already betrayed.
Yep.
But Niswada was not necessarily in a position where she could have taken over to that kind of extent were it not for Eragon turning and swearing fealty to her. And that massive symbol put her in that position of power. Like, she is still the one that was her idea. She's still capable of doing that. Like, but that let her really hold power and show the council that she was not to be fucked with in a way where she would have had a lot harder time wresting control.
I feel like it would have been a struggle. It would have been a fight for her. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we have a world with strong defined rules and structures and expectations, and then we have Eragon.
Yep.
And I think Eragon's ability to get glimpses of the future, a thing that we're told should be impossible, be it magically or otherwise, but he can do that, and it's also not commented upon. It's not a big deal. No one ever says, again, this is a little bit of a spoiler section, no one ever says, oh my god, Eragon, you can do the impossible. You can see the future. Like, it's just kind of a thing Eragon can do, and he's always like, I don't know, man. But again, it's never used to, like, influence the plot. It's always used just a little bit as, like, fun foreshadowing. Ooh, what's that mean? Spooky flavor.
Literally. Spooky flavor.
Spooky
exactly.
Flavor. But, like, it is a thing that I think demonstrates that Eragon is in such a unique position where he is so unlike anything else in this world.
Yes.
And I think this element of Eragon that almost feels antithetical to the rest of the thing, almost feels like a plot hole, almost feels like it just shouldn't happen, actually makes perfect sense with the themes and the way Eragon impacts the world.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for why Christopher Paolini did this, what he would say, what his reasoning is.
It'd be so cool to talk to him.
Right? But I can say that this feels like, me as the reader, this is how I'm interpreting it, why this is here.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Thank you so much, Dragon Mage.
Yep.
So we got another email I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, we got one this morning.
Yeah, perfect fucking timing.
Yeah,
Thank
literally.
You. Got it at our 6:12 a.m. our time.
Literally.
Like, well done, Allison.
Yeah.
All right.
I do like I hope it's not too late. You nailed it.
Listen. We said we were going to be recording on the 15th.
Yep.
You did it.
You did it.
Not the 15th. Sorry. We said you all had the 10th. You slid right under the wire. But listen, class hasn't started yet. I will accept the assignment.
Yes, absolutely.
That's so goddamn relatable. I was like, I'm sorry, I know I'm late. Will you still accept it? I emailed a college professor once because I turned in a paper at like 12:15 a.m. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know it's past the deadline. If you don't accept it, I completely understand. It's my own fault. I'm hoping you will. And if you won't, I completely understand. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. It's fine. And it was probably just more like, calm the fuck down, kid. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
no kidding.
Perfect timing. So, hey, Lucy and Darien. Congrats on completing Eldest. It has been a joy to listen to the two of you talk about my favorite book in one of my favorite series every 2 weeks. Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Okay, this email is coming a little bit late, but hopefully I still made it. If not, no worries. Again, Indiana Jones sliding right under there. I have been waiting for you to get to this chapter, Eldest, since you started the book. Murtagh, my precious baby boy Murtagh, is back. 12-year-old me couldn't handle it when I first read that scene, and 30-year-old me could barely handle it when I reread the series recently. It's so reassuring to know that there are other 30-somethings
literally had the same reaction.
Yeah, we're all still living it.
Yep.
The two of you talked a bit about this with Diego in the last episode, but can we talk a bit more about how unfair it is that Murtagh had to go through becoming a rider under Galbatorix's captivity? Like, don't get me wrong, Eragon didn't have a very traditional training when Saphira first hatched for him, but he got to train under Braum, who cared about him, and then he got to go to Elismira and receive proper training from Oramus in the land of the first dragon riders.
Mm-hmm.
What a stark contrast to what I'm sure Murtagh and Thorn endured, and I'm sure we're gonna unpack this in the future.
Insert Lucy screaming here.
Lucy's out here literally shaking her fist at the sun.
Anyway.
Eragon widens the difference anymore when he's like, ha, I don't even have a scar anymore.
Literally.
Which is doubly crushing because at the end of book 1, Murtagh was like, hey, you're just like me to Eragon after Eragon got his scar. I wonder if Paolini intentionally sets them up like this to be opposite sides of the same coin, especially with them being brothers, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You three talked about how dragons on the covers of the books and how the original was only supposed to be 3 books. I just wanted to say that, yes, you're right. And mild spoiler, I'm pretty sure Paolini intended for the 3 books to each be the dragon that hatches from the 3 remaining eggs. Hence why Thorn is on the cover of book 2, not Gladier. That is, yeah.
Yeah,
that's such a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, because Brasinger has Gladier on the cover.
Yep.
Right? And so... that makes so much sense if the intent was that there are 3 eggs left there. 3. I don't know if we know the last egg is green, but like that's not a spoiler, it's green. Yeah. And that the blue dragon, red dragon, green dragon on the cover of 3 books. Like that's thank you. That's a great point, Allison. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so then when we have like, well, we gotta slide another one, and yeah, you're right.
Yep.
I also remember that originally the 3 books were each supposed to have a title that started with E, 6 letters long, and the last book was predicted to be called Empire. I don't know how credible this was, but all the random facts come from a cool fan site called shirttogold.com that I used to be obsessed with when I was a tween. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Allison was doing the fandom stuff. Yeah. Right? Allison was on the early internet. Yep. Allison, like, I didn't know this.
Yeah, I didn't also know that.
I think this was headcanon fan theory stuff. Like that letter thing. I don't, because it wouldn't make sense to call it Empire.
Yeah.
When the Empire is the thing we're trying to overthrow. I think he always meant to call it Inheritance as the last book in the series. Mm-hmm. But I like that as a piece of like fan artifact.
Yes.
Like, yes. Hold on, it's hyperlinked. Can I still go there? Is it still? Oh, it's not. It's not active anymore. If you go there, it says it's got a silhouette of a sleeping dragon, and it says the slumbering dragon stirs, which may be indication that the site will be back active since we've got new stuff brewing. But there is, as far as I can tell, nothing to interact with here anymore. But old fandom relics.
Yeah, I love it. Hello.
Also, it took me way too long to realize this, like during my recent reread at 30, but the book is called Eldest because Murtagh is the eldest brother, which ties into the theme of inheritance, so I'm okay with Thorn being on the cover, given his / Murtagh's significance in that way, which like, absolutely. With those themes in mind, it makes total sense.
Yes.
It's just that Gladier being on book 3 throws off the whole vibe, and Thorn showing up in the last 30 pages.
Yep.
Incredible. You're so right, though. Yep. Anyways, thank you for letting me nerd out with you over this. Can't wait for Inheritance. Take care, Allie. Allie, thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, hey, dear listeners, you got like old fan relics like this?
Oh,
like,
yes, that'd be so cool.
Because again, I didn't. Yep. I didn't. That's just not how but I think because I had a lot of friends in my immediate vicinity that were also into this, right? Yep. I think I got more into online fandom culture when I started getting into things I didn't have people to share it with, and that stuff became more readily accessible. I'm not saying everybody who was super into online fan culture didn't have friends in real life they could talk to about it, but like I didn't feel like I had to seek it out.
Yeah.
I also for real didn't know that stuff existed for a long time, so there's that too. Those were the emails. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Again, I'm delighted that we're actually like, because it is a kind of a scary thing to be like, okay, we're gonna do this thing. Do y'all want to share your thoughts? Like, we get lots of comments all the time, and that's super social, but it feels different to be like, okay, do you want to help us make the episode?
Yeah, literally. That's what it is. Like, it's really nice. Yeah. It's literally like y'all helping us make this episode because we just talk about all the things. So, yeah.
I have a couple listener comments that I want to drop. There's a few I meant to do right after our riddles episode. And I just forgot. Sorry. We got one from Owen, who's, here's a riddle for you. What's black and white and red all over? And I said, a panda bear covered in strawberry jam.
I love it.
Because a newspaper, right?
Newspaper
is a common one.
Yep.
But that one doesn't work if it's written out, because Owen did use the word for the color red.
Okay.
And some riddles only I think really work because they're spoken out loud.
Yeah.
It's like what Auric was complaining about when they use like time and time, like the or Saphira, who doesn't get the wordplay ones.
Yeah,
one of them, like that is the thing that they get hung up on.
Yep.
So that's why I was like, well, it has to be a panda bear covered in strawberry jam.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
We didn't get an answer.
Did you post my riddle or did you?
Cards on the table. I have fallen off on being on top of that.
That's literally fair.
I will fix. I got a whole flood I gotta make. I haven't posted our quests for a hot second. I haven't posted the writers' takes. I just kind of
stuff. Life. Yep.
So, but I will. We'll get caught up.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be way more on
stress.
top of it for Bersinger.
Absolutely.
We have a comment from someone named Vinny Boy who said, like with the Eragon series, you're meant to grow with the character. Which I have feelings about the concept of your audience being meant to grow with the character. I'm also not entirely sure what the comment is referring to specifically. Sometimes listeners have just joined us and they comment on things that we talked about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love what you're saying here. No, I don't remember what we were talking about, but thank you for chiming in. So I'm never mad about that.
Yep.
But like, I remember, sorry, not talking about the Transphobic Wizard series. A big thing that was praised about Potter was like, oh, the readers, the audience, they really grew up with the characters. They really grew up with it. It's like, yeah, because it took years to come out. And I was a young kid when I started, and I was older because that's how time works.
Yeah.
But eventually, the books start coming out, and then the books are all out.
Yep.
So to say that you're supposed to grow with the character only actually works when there is a forced amount of time you have to wait before getting to read the next book. Yeah. Right? Like, I grew up with Eragon, absolutely. Yeah. Because this book came out in 2005, right? August 2005 was when that thing, the author's note was written, the acknowledgements. And so I was in 6th grade when I first read the 2 books. Mm-hmm. And then Bersinger comes out in fall of 2008. So now I'm in 9th grade, right? Mm-hmm. I have grown up a little bit. And then there's another chunk of time, and I think Inheritance comes out my senior year, if I remember correctly. Okay. So yeah, I did. I went from 12 to 18. Yep. But if a 12-year-old today picks up Eragon, they're going to be done before they're 13. Yep. Depending on when their birthday is. Yeah. Right?
And also how fast they want to read.
How fast
or
they
if
read
they get into it.
How they get into hands. Like a kid who likes these books and has access to them and has just nothing but time to read, they're going to be done really quickly. Yep. So I do have some... I do fundamentally disagree with the idea that you are supposed to grow with the character. Mm-hmm. Because that doesn't work once the books are all out.
Yes, agreed.
Because... why should this 12-year-old be forced to wait before XYZ amount of time before reading the next book if it is available to them and all the books are being put in the same shelf?
Yes. Like literally, you can go to any bookstore that might have them and you can buy the whole series.
They're in the middle grade fantasy section. Yeah. That's where they are. And that's great. That's where they belong, right?
Absolutely.
And even if like the reading got a little bit more technically challenging due to Eragon and Eldest, I think learning and following that is how everyone grows as readers. And that's not the thing I'm talking about. But like, just as an idea, I don't think you can say you're supposed to grow with the character because eventually a young reader can access the books all at once. Yeah. They can't grow up with the character.
Yeah. And also, I feel like it'd be like, you can't read this book until you're 14 or like 16 now. It's like, what?
Yeah. Like, it's one thing if like, hey, this book has content in it that's not appropriate for 12-year-olds. Yeah, you shouldn't read that book. Yeah. But if it's like, well, the first book in the series was fine for you, but now the 3rd book in the series isn't, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't actually even know if that's what the commenter Vinny was referring to. Again,
but it's been a while. Yeah,
but it's a thing I think about a lot. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to like talk about that because I do think it comes up a lot with long running like kids fantasy series.
Yep.
How reasonable is that to set as an expectation? Mm-hmm. Comment from Kiki following Eragon just continually fucking up with Arya. Eragon's magical ability to grow extra feet to shove into his mouth needs to be studied, actually. It's uncanny. I think he's up to, 10 feet he's eaten?
Yeah, literally.
Bro, you know what? If Murtagh was here, this wouldn't have fucking happened. Someone would have been able to be like, you need to stop.
Stop it, dude.
Like, he just didn't. There was no one he viewed as a peer that could tell him, no.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even Auric, I don't think we're viewing Auric as a peer. He's like a buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But he's like a cousin almost. But,
Yeah.
But not even like Roran, who also I think could have said, Eragon, you need to fucking stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have Saphira, who's also like kind of our like magical peer. And she's like, you know what it is? Everyone's too nice to Eragon about it.
Everyone's too nice.
Someone needed to lovingly bully him about it. And that is a thing only Roran or Murtagh could have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Or Braum. I bet Braum could have just been mean about it.
Braum would have like, we don't support hitting, but I do Braum just on the back of the head, just like, dude.
Once.
Bro.
Exactly, yep.
He would have done it too. I'm just imagining Braum doing that. He would have fucking done it. He would have been like, dude, stop it. Show respect. Smack.
Show respect. Yeah, absolutely. Lucy, here is a good question for you. What open world RPGs do you recommend? Good graphics, good story, good fights, good exploration, medieval theme, magic, dragons. Magic and dragons not necessary, unless you have a great game. And this is from Milo.
I'm like, it really depends on what you like. I'm not like a super big, like, oh, I know all RPGs. If you're looking for like an RPG world to explore, that might be a little overwhelming. Tears of the Kingdom is real big. Like, it's got 3 tiers to it. And that could be. But I'm also like, it could be arguably like graphics and stuff aren't necessarily the best in Tears of the Kingdom. So that could be that. Skyrim is always a classic. I don't know if you've played Skyrim, probably, assuming so. Skyrim's always a classic. It's I always go back to it every now and then just to walk around and discover stuff. I like to discover everything first, but by that time I might lose the thread of the plot and I'd stop playing the game.
Oh
no. It's bad. Oh man, what other? I've heard, is it Red Dead? Is that, I can't say that. I've heard that game is very good. I haven't played it though. Red Dead Redemption. Yes, Red Dead Redemption, I've heard is another great one. I haven't played it personally, but I know it's very popular. Or maybe Red Dead Redemption. I don't know why I can't say it.
It's Red Dead Redemption.
The second one specifically, I've heard is really, really, really good and fun to play. So that's also an option. There's also, why can't I think it? I could see all their faces. The new D&D one that came out.
Oh, Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate, thank you. Baldur's Gate's also good. I haven't gotten past Act 1. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I started playing it, and then I got into Act 2, and then I stopped playing, because I think I always go back and I want to create characters. And I think that's my bad.
Is that just your favorite part?
I really like creating the characters. So I go back and I do that, and then I play a little bit, and then I stop, and then I go back and do it again. But that one's also really good to play. I can't think of. There's Breath of the Wild.
That you gave 3 really solid started points, Lisa. I think you did a good job.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild's always good if you want to. Tears of the Kingdom is like a sequel. You can play it on its own, but Breath of the Wild's also good.
If you think of more, just shout them out.
Yep.
I've got a comment from Venomous Seraph. Y'all said something about a phrase a character used. I want to say it was in a Roran Geode chapter by the Lost Kings. It was pointed out this was capitalized, and it means something. It's been a week since I've listened, and I've thought about it like a bajillion times. It's bugging me. Just, Palini, sir, I need you to fix it. Right?
Literally.
Like, it's capitalized, which means it's referencing something really specific.
Yep.
Who are the Lost Kings?
Yes. By the Lost Kings.
And like,
I do
again,
remember that.
I didn't want Roran to think about what it meant in the moment. Like, that's bad world building.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Throwing this in there is great world building because it suggests that, because that's where like turns of phrases, idioms, like exclamations like this, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That would be capitalized. And someone who has no context, which, it'd be kind of wild, but let's say hypothetically.
Yeah.
They'd be like, who is that? Why are you saying that?
Yeah.
Right? And you wouldn't then think, Lucy, yes, Jesus Christ, the Son of God of the Christian religion.
The Lord and Savior.
The Lord and Savior. Right? Like, you wouldn't think that. So the way it's presented is fine. However.
Yes. We need to circle back.
Circle back. I need to circle back. I just, some myth, some story isn't in one of these other books.
Chris! I was going to say, are we going to get it? I think we talked about that too in the episode. It's like, hopefully whatever he's writing in the big wars or whatever that's coming up, we'll maybe get some.
Yeah, we could eventually. We've got a comment from, we're going to do quite a few, I think, because I forgot to do any in the last episode.
Yeah,
so
enough.
More than we usually do, just to make good.
Yep.
User Kingdom Come. Hello, guys. So amazing, this podcast. I got put on the podcast after listening to the Seaweed Brain podcast. Shout out to Seaweed Brain.
Yeah.
Love Erica and Carter over there. And I truly appreciate you guys for covering the series. For the quest, I named my ship Stargazer.
Yes.
My main idea behind it is inspired by Treasure Planet.
Yay!
Yes.
I love that.
And how the ships in the movie were galleons in space among the stars. Hey, Treasure Planet kicks ass.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
I love. Did you all know that was going to have a sequel?
I think I did.
They were actively storyboarding the sequel when it got canceled because the film had performed so poorly. Because Disney had released a summer action movie in the wintertime up against The Santa Claus 2 and Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And also had spoiled major twists in the narrative in the trailers of the flick.
Yep.
Like, there is evidence to suggest that this film was actively sabotaged, which is crazy because the directors had literally made like some of the Disney Renaissance masterpieces.
Yep.
And they were required to make a lot more movies before they were allowed to finally make this the film that they had wanted to make for a long time.
Yep.
Devastating.
Absolutely devastating.
But it's fine, whatever. We still have Treasure Planet, and Treasure Planet is great.
Yes, it's so good.
Always happy to think about Treasure Planet.
Yep.
User A_AMN. I'm going to say Minnesota.
I like that.
Yeah, token elves don't properly sleep. Legolas spends most of the Two Towers walking in a trance, making Gimli jealous.
That's true. Yep, that's true.
From Curtis, my favorite mind meld plot is in Dracula.
Yes.
Since the heroes use the connection he was trying to use against them to track him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my second favorite, actually, but you already called out Pacific Rim. Also, super stoked for your Everlasting episode. We will.
Yep.
I'm super stoked for Lucy to listen to Everlasting.
Yep.
By Alex E. Harrow, and you, dear listeners, should also read The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. Hey. If you like This Is How You Lose the Time War, you're gonna fucking really enjoy The Everlasting.
Ooh.
They're like not the same, but they clearly are related. Right? Like they just have some vibes about them. Morgan left a comment. Introducing yourself as child of blank would actually be a great medieval/fantasy way of establishing pronouns. Daughter, son, child.
Oh, that's
Yeah. I was like,
that's great,
that's
actually.
A great, what? Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Great.
That's a great call. We got a comment from Emmy Weeb. Eon and Iana, it's a duology. As far as I remember, might be an interesting read for other dragon content for your Patreon. And I'm pretty sure Diego mentioned that in passing.
I was gonna say that sounds really familiar.
Yeah, and so I'm putting it on the list.
Yeah, put it on the list.
Definitely. Dragon Age also gave us a bunch of ones.
Oh yes,
that I have a list for us to be able to do. And we also, kind of on that topic, we got a comment from The Great Lake, speaking of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Another similar but slightly different series is Fourth Wing.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if we're talking about Emma Catherine's book or if we're talking about the Eragon series in general or just dragon books. Like, again, I'm so sorry. I do not recall the exact context.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, Fourth Wing's huge right now.
Yeah, it's really big. I haven't.
No, but you just like the quote. A dragon without their rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead.
Oh, yeah.
That comes from Fourth Wing.
Okay,
And listen, I've not read Fourth Wing. I watch a lot of book tubers who have talked about Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
So I know a lot about Fourth Wing. And that's how I know where
I was like, I
from.
don't know a lot of quotes or like that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't know much about it.
Because you're the one that first told me that.
Oh, yeah. Because it's from the fucking movie.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I lost the plot.
Fourth play. Yeah, just the...
Well, Fourth Wing is also clearly taking a lot of inspiration, having a lot of sparks of inspiration from other texts.
Yes, absolutely. So. No, but yeah, no, I know a lot of people who like Fourth Wing. I've had a lot of people go, you have to read Fourth Wing, but I just haven't put in the energy. I think it was probably because when Fourth Wing was coming out, I was reading Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City, and I was like, nah.
You're in another
I was like,
right
yeah, nah. This has got my full attention right now.
Yeah, my thing is I'm not super into heavily spicy romantasy.
Yeah.
It's just not my vibe, and that's not a comment on anybody else or whether or not anybody else should enjoy it. That's just one of the reasons why I haven't gotten into it. All that said, if y'all want to hear us talk about Fourth Wing, we'll do a bonus episode about Fourth Wing. We just got to know that y'all care enough.
Yeah, right.
Like, if you want to hear it. Speaking of bonus episodes, we're going to go on hiatus.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the end of the episode. We're wrapping up now.
Yep.
So as we do after, we're going to take a bit of a break.
Yes.
Because it's good to take, sometimes we're not abandoning the project. We're just taking a bit of a break.
You got to take a little break.
We're going to take a break. And
take a breather. I'm very excited to start Brissinger, but a little break.
So we are going to be back September 2nd. It's the first Wednesday of September. So it does mean we're at like a month and a half.
Yep.
We'll probably drop some older bonus episodes from the Dragon's Keep on the feed for y'all. Give you a little taste. We don't want to keep you completely alone.
Yeah.
But if you really miss us, you are welcome to join us on the Dragon's Keep. And Lucy, do you want to tell them a little bit about the Dragon's Keep?
Join us. No.
So that's not...
No. So Dragon Keep is where we do some bonus content regarding all things dragon, not necessarily Eragon inheritance related. We've talked about... Have we talked about Maleficent?
Yes.
Okay, we've talked about
we talked about Sleeping Beauty.
We've talked Sleeping Beauty with Maleficent. We have talked about Anne McCaffrey's Dragons of Pern.
Dragon Riders of Pern.
Yep, Dragon Riders of Pern, which was really fun. That was our first episode.
That was the first one. It had to be.
I love it so much. Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yep, we gotta get that. And
the Legend of Zelda Dragon,
which was fun. And then we've talked about, like, along with all the popular ones that we really like, we also talk about some we don't like, such as the D-Wars or whatever.
D-Wars! Which was World War D!
Awful. It was absolutely god-awful, terrible.
We talked about Netflix's Damsel, which was a trip.
Which was a real fun one, absolutely. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in just hearing more dragon stuff or... and our opinions on these popular and or not popular dragon stuff, you can head over to Patreon.
Yeah.
And it's just $5. $5
a month gets you the bonus episode and then backlog of all of the other ones.
Yep, absolutely.
That we've released up to this point. For example, again, like Curtis mentioned, we're going to do the Everlasting.
Yes.
Because fucking dragons showed up at the end of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. Oh my God. I can make people listen to me talk about the Everlasting.
Yes.
The duology that was mentioned earlier, probably going to tap into that.
Yep.
If we ever talk about Fourth Wing, that's where we're going to do it.
Yep.
So patreon.com/EABA. If you really miss us, that's where you can hear us while we're gone.
Yes.
We're also, on Instagram if you want to say hey.
Yep. If you want to say hey.
I don't know, I'm trying to post more on Instagram just as like bits. I don't really know. If you want to see us as dragon puppets.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
The episode.
I love it so much.
I have the pulled for the last episode and I haven't actually made it yet because I haven't actually figured out what Diego is going to be. I think I'm going to make him, I only have 2 dragon plushies.
I should bring over Toothless.
Oh my gosh, that'd be super cute. I think Diego's going to be an owl, just because I think that'd be
owl.
cute.
I like an owl.
Maybe
owls
Albert.
Are magical.
Yeah, or maybe I have a little snowy owl plush that was given. So we'll see. But yeah, that's where we're at. And if you're just like that, not for me, no worries.
Okay, yeah.
I hope you'll come back and join us for Brissinger. And if this is your last time with us, then thank you for joining us up until
thank
this
you for
point.
Thank you for inviting us into your lives.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time with us, right? And if you have any more thoughts about all this, like, we've done the recap episode, but we're going to keep talking about the series, so feel free to leave those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comments on Instagram, comments on Spotify, shoot us an email at eragonpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
And then, as I said, we will be back on Wednesday, September the 2nd.
Yes.
Until next time, she's Lucy Hart.
And she's Darien Smartt.
And this is Eragon.
And back again.